Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. Where do we want to go next? Let's talk about, well, first, I have another channel, Romie Whispers ASMR. Again, that's Romie Whispers ASMR. I do have links below and in the link that should be popping up above. And show some love, show some support over there. Some big moves are going to be made very soon. Very soon. Now, this episode of Queen Sugar, I said, oof. I was not ready for the debates were on, and I said, doing other stuff for the house. I was like, but then I turned the TV and I said, what? In no sequential order, let's just talk about what happened. Calvin is back. If you don't remember who Calvin is the married white guy that Nova was dating, and she loved him and he loved her, but they just had fundamental differences because he was also a police officer, and she felt like, hey, you need to go and see my point of view when it comes to social issues and race relations and all of that, instead of, and he kind of got it, but his focus was more so with the code blue versus even really hearing what she had to say. So we knew it wasn't going to work. He was still married, so that was a huge important chunk as well. Let's not discredit that for the issues that they were having. He's no longer married. He got a divorce. He's no longer on the force. He actually has his own security company. So he's now an entrepreneur. He's not a whole new person, but he definitely did a 180. Nova sees him when she was actually at this hotel, when she was leaving, at this venue, I should say, because Nova is doing well with this book. She got this TV offer, and she goes on. When she is there, the woman closes the door. Maybe it's the executive producer, most likely, closes the door, which I said, uh-oh, and no one was in there. I said, uh-oh, what's gonna happen? She lets Nova know that they want to run a segment, and here's the information. We want to make sure that you're okay with this, because this is normal with TV. Sometimes they still do it anyway, sometimes they don't. Nova, because it was a genealogy type of situation where they go and look into your genealogy, into your background, and they find people that you didn't even know were a part of your family background and history. And it was a little confusing, because at first I thought that it has something to do with her father, and maybe her father wasn't really her father because her mother was a free spirit, we will say, to a certain degree. But then when she goes on the show and the man brings it up, you can see Nova's like, where are we going with this? But actually, no, it was someone else on her mom's side, where it was either like a cousin or maybe a long lost sister, something like that. And Nova was just so shocked because the woman's still alive. And I'm thinking, we're not just seeing, this is big. They're devoting a lot of time. Nova's going to talk to this woman. There's going to be family secrets revealed. We needed someone to piece this all together, and now I think we finally have it. Nova actually goes on a date with Calvin, and like I said, it was cool. They were shooting the breeze, eating food, talking. Then they went and played pool, and that was nice. Then they went to her hotel room, and nothing initially happened because she just felt like she wasn't sure if things changed enough for her to go potentially backwards and try to pursue something with this guy again. And initially they go and separate. I said, oh, it's not over. We still have a couple minutes left. And I was right. They come back together. They have this conversation about, look, we really need to see each other. We need to have real conversation. We can't just go and sweep important things under the rug this time. And Calvin agrees, and they do it. And I was actually happy for Nova, because I'm not in her family, so I'm not mad anymore. I feel like her family's not even that mad anymore. They're just distracted at this point because they have except for Darla. Darla's going through it. Let's talk about Darla. So Darla, she's finally back at work. She works with some real a-holes, and unfortunately, Darla is dealing with people at her job who know it's her, who know her history, who know her background somehow, some way. I don't know how. Nova thought that she was protecting her by calling her Star, as if people down there don't know who Star is. And it's funny, Darla, she works, it looks like, with primarily or almost all white people in the office, because I think she's an assistant, and they're just laughing at her, and she said hello, and they kind of said hello back, but then they turned their back and kept talking. I said because someone left the book with the chapter of Star open on her seat, on her chair. It's just so messed up. It is so wrong. And she calls Ralph Angel. Ralph Angel is dealing with stuff, so he couldn't call her back. Thankfully, she calls her boyfriend, and she talks to her boyfriend, but he was trying to tell her that, hey, this isn't enough. What you need to do is you need to talk to your sponsor. You need to talk to, call your sponsor. And Darla said, I'm not weak. I just needed someone to listen to me, but I am not weak. This isn't what this is about. This is different. Because her boyfriend was trying to say, you know, our past is always being brought up against us. Hello, my past is a part of a bestseller on the New York Times. Whatever, many weeks. This is different. So then she even tells him thank you, but asks him to leave. I said, oh no, Darla, please, 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 please actually process this pain instead of going back to drugs to mask it. That's what I'm afraid of for her, and that's what a lot of us are afraid of for her. And even though we can't say that it would be 100% Nova's fault, because Darla still has the choice to do the drugs or not, Nova could be the linchpin in that, and that would be horrible. Now let's talk about Aunt Vi. Aunt Vi, no one knows that Hollywood is visiting his mother because Aunt Vi needs some space, and she needs to just be alone for a bit. Long story short, her shop actually gets vandalized, and the person who did, I said, okay, that's a small frame. Doesn't really seem like he has the heart for it, because I felt like the way he was moving, it looked like because as soon as she left, he came in, and it just looked like someone who wasn't doing it because they hated her or despised her. It looked like he or she had to do it. I keep saying he, because you know it's a he. And she comes in the next day, she's just like, oh God. It's like another thing, one more thing. But it was weird. It was almost like a welcome distraction for her. That's kind of how messed up her life is, where it didn't break her, or should I say destroy her, the way that I think people thought that it would, because Jimmy Dale, nothing is worse than Jimmy Dale for her. So I guess perspective, she's kind of getting some perspective when it comes to that. The family rallies around her. Remember, no one's talking to Nova, so Nova doesn't know any of the stuff that's going on. And Charlie said she's gonna find out who did it. She's gonna find out who did it. Ralph Angel eventually comes, and Ralph Angel, in her talk, because Charlie has a lead, she actually talks to the pharmacy owner who has cameras, and the pharmacy owner showed that the guy that was working for the Landrys, was taking pictures of Aunt Vi's Prize Pies and Diner, but we find out it wasn't him. We keep looking at the video, and we see, wait a minute, Charlie realizes it says Ignacio. That's the young kid who, he is legal. He's illegal. Let's try that again. He is a legal citizen of the United States, but some of his family is not. So when the raid happened, his father and brother got taken. And as soon as we learned that it was him, I realized what was going on. It was a scare tactic. So they eventually brought him in, brought in the family, the pastor too, and Charlie isn't going to press charges. Well, it's not for her to press charges. She doesn't own the shop, because the investigation is happening. So they need to move in a certain way or fashion. And she says she understands that the kid may have gone and done the damage, but someone put the brick in his hand to do it, which is important. So she convinces Envi to not press charges, to hear the boy out. And what used to happen, which I guess doesn't really happen anymore, is Envi is going to have him work for her at the shop. And I feel like this is going to probably end up being a long-term thing. And the great thing about this is that when she accepted that, he does that as repayment. She comes out and sees that her shop is already fixed. Everyone who's a part of that kid's community came out and helped fix up her shop. And it was like the ultimate olive branch. She was like, y'all don't understand how much this means to me. Because imagine going through so much, feeling so alone, because when it happened, she still didn't call Hollywood. And that's when she had to tell a couple of them that her and Hollywood are good, but her mind is just so messed up because of Jimmy Dale. But seeing these people who she doesn't even know doing this for her meant so much. And I was so happy for her. And now, so Charlie, because Charlie again is just handling a boatload, as she always is. Charlie goes and Charlie meets up with, I think it was like another investigator. Long story short, she learns intel that, she met with the black governor or something. I forgot what her title is. The purpose, though, is that the governor said, why don't you learn why the highway was moved from my side to your side, and then we can talk. So that's what Charlie does. And Charlie finds out that it's something even bigger. Apparently, the energy company, National Energy Company, they are going to do fracking in St. Joe's. And because they're going to go and look for natural gas. We find this out because Charlie tricks Jacob into revealing the information. Jacob, he is so gullible because he's really not a bad person, but he is someone who still wants to get ahead and isn't concerned about who's negatively affected. So he's not a good person either. So Charlie was able to get out of him that, oh yeah, the prison's closed, but that was nothing. We can go and build a highway. The highway goes, because Charlie also was saying some of this. So you're using the highway to go and transport the equipment in and out so that you can do the fracking and basically destroy this community. And it was like, yeah, but it'll create jobs and it'll create more revenue than and the money you'll make up from. And she said, what about the people in the community? And essentially his response was, what about us? So that's when she knew, if she never knew before, that, oh, this dude is not for her. And she tricked him because she made it seem like she had information for him. She did not. She did not have any contracts for him. She had nothing. And I loved it. So Charlie realized, wow, this is bigger than all of us. An energy company, in order to fight that, we need to get eyes. And that's when she went and had the local media come out. And once she told everyone about what was going on, that's when everyone in the community rallied together, and they're going to do silent protest, and they're going to go and wear these shirts that represent everything that's good with the flag and the motto of St. Joe and just their area of the country. And I was really proud of Charlie. But as we know, there's always something. At the end of the dang episode, Charlie gets this call and she's horrified because she finds out that the mill is on fire. Yes, her mill is on fire. Even though it's technically sold back to the Landrys and she retains like 1%. Whatever, that doesn't matter. The whole point is, her mill's on fire. What's going to happen with the farmers that use her mill? What's going to happen with the harvest? Because they're still in the middle of everything. Oh, that mill is such a represent. It's not just about the money. It's about the principle. How much time it'll take to rebuild. The
Vice shop being vandalized, the mill being burned down, ICE being called, and to make other things almost as bad, Ralph Angel, I forgot what his name is, but one of his right-hand men was pulled over at the farm, and the cops took him away because they said he had drugs on him. He had a lot of drugs on him. And now we know this man out of prison, he is not doing that mess anymore. And Ralph Angel believes him because he knows his character. Oh! They tried to... And then Ralph Angel has cameras, but apparently they tampered with the cameras. Thank God Ralph Angel has an angel with him. And that angel is his girlfriend. His girlfriend talked to the employee, said that we're going to fight this, but we need you to actually say something, because if you don't, nothing will change. And Ralph Angel was like, I used to think that if I kept my head down, that nothing would happen to me, but that's not true. That's not how this world really works. And to make matters worse, Ralph Angel's license might get revoked. The one that allows him his permit that allows him to do the 10-step, 20-step, whatever it's called, the reform process for the men and women who come out of prison to go into work. And so they're fighting that too. It's just one thing after the other. But he has his girlfriend who is on the right side of justice. That's pretty much it. That was the episode. Please like, comment, subscribe. Remember, check out my other channel, Romie Reviews ASMR. All right, let me get back to work.